Good morning. This is Victoria Berry presenting lab submission number 4. Today's topic is the function of the skeletal system. The skeletal system consists of bone, cartilage, and ligaments that support and give shape to the body. The skeleton consists of 206 bones in the adult, and the primary functions of the skeleton are to provide an internal framework that supports the weight of the body and also provides a structure upon which muscles can act to produce movement. The skeleton consists of two major parts: the axial skeleton, which is along a central axis, as you can see in our demonstrative. And this is comprised of the skull, the vertebral column, and the supporting structures. The appendicular system operates the arms and the legs. Within these systems, bones can be a variety of shapes, and they can be classified as either long or short. So one of the longest bones in the body is the femur, which is right here, which supports a great deal of the weight of the body while walking. Shorter bones would exist within the ankles and the wrists that are short and cuboidal in shape. Flat bones are, as their name suggests, flat and thin and with a large surface. One example, actually the bones in the skull are considered to be flat, even though they do have a somewhat curved shape. Also, the bone of the scapula is frequently categorized as a flat bone. Another interesting point with the bones of the skull is that they have these sutures which join actually after the baby is born. It's one of the reasons that an infant's head is as soft as it is. I'm just bringing this down a little bit. But there are sutures within the skull that solidify after birth. There are also irregular bones which have shapes that are hard to classify. That would be, an example of that would be within the vertebra, which have this interlocking structure. So within their microscopic structure, bones can be classified as either compact or spongy. Compact bone is found in the outer layers of bone, and it provides strength and structure to enable us to stand and to also withstand the repetitive forces of the stresses, for example, of movement across the joints. And I have actually a visual aid which shows internally some of the structures of bone, where you can see the central canals, the lamella, and the arteries and blood vessels which provide circulation of blood into the bone itself. So bone serves actually as a location for mineral storage. The word reservoir was used to describe this for calcium, and blood cell production occurs inside of the bones. During the process of bone growth, bones in children grow longer, but they also grow wider. And this is a process of ossification and lengthening of the bone that goes on during childhood. And it's actually a cartilage that becomes ossified as the child grows, where it's initially called an epithelial bone plate, which in the adult becomes a bone line. New bone growth is produced by osteoblasts that produce and deposit a new matrix called external circumferential laminae. And again, these look very much like the growth rings of a tree, how bone is deposited in a circular fashion. In the reverse process, old bone is broken down by osteoclasts. So this is a process that goes on through an individual's lifetime, especially very important for older individuals to have good bone density. And this can depend on age, the hormonal levels within the body, also good nutrition, and weight-bearing exercise has been shown to increase bone density. There are also supporting tissues to the skeletal system. The skeletal system is supported by connective tissues, which include cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. Cartilage is connective tissue that cushions the joints. One area where you can really see this is within the meniscus of the knee, which enables flexing of the knee to be possible. You can also see pure cartilage in the nose especially, and in the ear. And the skeletal system has two types of cartilage to support growth. One is called hyaline cartilage, and the other is called fibrous cartilage. The fibrous cartilage, an example of that, can be found within the meniscus of the knee. Hyaline cartilage is found within the long bones and functions as a framework around which the bones are formed, which later becomes, as the bones grow. Hyaline cartilage attaches the ribs to the sternum. So here's the sternum. Bring this down a little bit. Sternum is right in the center of the chest. As to a little more detail of microscopic structure of fibrocartilage and hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage is a form of cartilage which consists of chondrocytes scattered among clearly visible dense bundles of collagen fibers within a matrix. The hyaline cartilage, in contrast, is a very uniform in appearance, and it is surrounded by a perichondrium. And thank you for this lab presentation.